Hey guys! Welcome to Lake Michigan, Chicago. I need to get used to looking at the lens and not myself. But I'm hanging out outside because it's nice and figured I'm actually thinking about doing my mid-June readings outside just because it's been really beautiful lately. Well, we had like a couple of days of weird rain, but yeah, I mean, I always kind of wanted to do some tarot readings outside and get out and about and do them. So now that we're actually getting into consistent, nice weather, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to try to do some outside readings. I also live close to Loyola University, so that's a really nice campus, and there's a lot of really nice areas where I don't think I'll be bothered by too many people walking around. But I don't know if you can see, that's Chicago in the background right there. So yeah, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. This is not actually going to be a tarot reading. This is going to be, this is kind of also my way of testing out to see how it's gonna go with recording outdoors. But this is going to be my Get to Know Me Through Astrology, the third house. And to be honest with you, there really isn't a lot to talk about because I don't have anything going on in my third house. So this is kind of going to be more of a casual video. I'll just kind of talk about what the third house means, what it represents, and just get into a little bit of what's going on in the third house as far as like the zodiac that's ruling my third house. And I don't know, we'll probably just get into some random stories. This is gonna be like my way of getting used to shooting some videos outside. I found this shirt, it says find your fire, find your fire. We have this lovely rock in our way. I don't know, I wasn't really trying to find the right angle. I wasn't, it's gonna be, I'm really close to a like bike route. It's the Lakeshore Trail. I can't think right now. It's probably because it's my day off. I started my part-time job, like bartending, and today was my day off, and I've been on my bike since kind of early this morning. So my mind has kind of just gotten lost in a daze, just, riding around the neighborhood, doing things, going to the store. It's been kind of a nice day, but I'm a little like, just, I'm in just like a very drifty, what's the word I'm like, spacey. I'm in a spacey kind of mentality right now. And I wasn't really expecting to be recording anything today, and that's probably why I wasn't actually expecting to be recording anything today, but I was like, why not? So I stopped at my house, and it was kind of funny. There was a lady, I don't know, like my building kind of has some weird restrictions about weird things. We have 2 elevators, and I'm not supposed to take my bike into the front elevator, but I could take it through the back elevator, which is more of like a service elevator. And some lady was looking at me because I was going up the front elevator. She's like, you can get fined for taking your bike up the front elevator. And I'm like, why do people even bother caring about things like that? I wasn't in her way, but I don't know, maybe she didn't want me to get her elevator dirty. So stupid. I have a new roommate. This is going to be more of just like a chit chat, which kind of works out because, okay, let's just get into the third house real quick as far as what it means. The third house is originally ruled by Gemini, and we're in Gemini season, so that is why we are doing the third house, because we're in Gemini season. It's ruled by Gemini. It's all about local. So this actually kind of works out really nicely because I'm taking you to like, my local spots. And yeah, it's about like local travel. It's about community. It's about friendship. It's about siblings. It's about like possibilities. Gemini is mutable air. So a lot of intellectual energy, a lot of mental energy. Gemini is ruled by Mercury, the trickster planet. So just a lot of like mental energy there, a lot of intellectual, analytical kind of energy, thinking about the possibilities for the future, thinking about possibilities like with friends, you know, with the people that you're close to, wanting to create a, you know, an energized social dynamic. Geminis are very social people. They are like Libras. Well, actually, all the air signs are very social people. Their motives are a little bit different. Like they are being guided by something just a little bit different. But all the air signs are generally very social signs. And the Gemini energy is definitely going to be focus more on community dynamic and the closer friendships, you know, the friendships that we have within our immediate surroundings, like on a day-to-day basis, within our community, the friendships that we form at work, the types of relationships we have with our siblings. So yeah, this is all third house stuff: communication, how we communicate with each other, how we exchange ideas, how we exchange thoughts. So actually, like, the more that I talk about what the third house means, what it represents, what Gemini represents, the more I'm actually kind of getting excited about doing this video, because I feel like a lot of that energy actually has been happening. Like, I kind of feel like ever since I started this journey with the tarot and astrology and YouTube, I've really been enjoying seeing the energies of each season. And that's why I also like doing these Get to Know Me Through Astrology videos, because I can really show you how the season that we're in really kind of brings to light the energy that season is being represented by. So when we talk about seasons, we're not talking about autumn, winter, spring, and fall. We're talking about the zodiacal seasons. We're talking about Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, so on and so on. So we're in Gemini season. So, you know, and every single time we enter a new season, you know, I always become hyper aware of the energies for that season, and it really allows me to kind of see and really feel what that energy is all about, which has been really cool. And somehow, like, my life is on this path and is unfolding in this way where the most where I'm actually being faced head on. Like, those energies are becoming very prominent in my life, and I'm being faced with them. So for example, like, my grandmother, okay, so for Gemini season, okay, so let me just kind of like throw you an example in case I'm like completely losing you. So towards the end of May, right, Taurus season, like, we decided that my grandmother would be better off in an assisted living home where she can really get the proper attention that she needs. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not, you know, I can only do so much. So we found her like an assisted living home, and she's like super, super happy there. Like, she's got nurses, she's got like people, you know, and my grandmother's like, she's a strong lady. Like, she's not by any means like unable to do things on her own. She's still very independent. But, you know, whenever there are these little things that come up that she's worried about, like medical things, and we can't just like go to the doctor like right then and there, I think it brings comfort to her to know that she can just like go knock on the nurse's door and just kind of figure out what's going on, you know, like, and she can get some answers. So she's got people, she's got staff, you know, taking care of her, and she's got nurses, and she's got her own room, and there's like activities there, and they feed her and like everything like that. So it's a home. So anyway, so she moved out, and then like pretty much right away, I had a really good friend of mine that I've known since high school. We've been friends for a very, very long time. I've known him for probably one of my oldest friends that I actually hang out with and talk to. I have some friends who are older that I haven't seen in like 20 years, but he like him and his girlfriend broke up, and then he needed a place to stay, so he started staying with me, and then we talked, and he was like, yeah, I want to move in. I had the spare room. I'm like, all right, great, awesome, because like I honestly couldn't have thought of a better roommate for me, because I'm a very like just the type of individual I am. It's just better for me to live with somebody that I really know, that I really trust. I'm not really into the whole, you know, finding like a roommate, you know, that I don't know. Like it just ended up totally perfect. So basically in the beginning of Gemini season, you know, like we decided that he was going to come and move in and be my roommate, and so that's really cool. And then I started working, and I haven't worked for over a year, you know, like in the industry. Like I was in the service industry for about 20 years. So, you know, the service industry got hit the worst when COVID started. And, you know, I got laid off from my last job, which was ironically enough at the Navy Pier. And now I have a new job on the Navy Pier, just a couple days a week. So, and I work with my friend. So it's just like, I don't know, it's just kind of funny because with Gemini season, you know, I feel like that's totally representative of Gemini season. Like having a new roommate, you know, that local, like building that community with your closest friendships, the ones you trust, even working, and we even work together, you know. It's just a very natural, organic kind of relationship, kind of friendship, and it really does, you know, feel nice to have that in my life. So yeah, so you know, I feel like Gemini season really is just about like appreciating the close relationships that you have. You know, and I'm very close to my siblings as well. My siblings and my brother and my sister and I, we've been, you know, doing a lot of planning for the summer, trying to figure out what we're going to do together, where we're going to go, things like that. So Gemini season has been pretty cool so far. And I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. Like, I feel like all those things that have kind of taken place in the last couple of weeks, like since Gemini season started, is very Gemini energy. It's very third house energy, and it's just really cool to pay attention to how each season, how the energies of each season just kind of unfold as the zodiacal year goes on, right? Like Taurus season is all about, you know, security, safety, like the home, your values, kind of grounding yourself. It's fixed earth, so really grounding yourself to, you know, your home. And I know that my video for Taurus season for the second house was very like, oh my God, because remember I had Aquarius in my second house, and I talked a lot about what it's like to not feel grounded and to not have you know, to always feel like there really isn't any stability. But even with that being said, oh, I remember now what I wanted to bring up, and why it was cool that you know, this is all kind of happening the way that it's happening, and I have my friend living with me now, and I really couldn't ask for a better job either. My part-time job, like I always kind of told myself, if I was going to go back to the service industry, like I want to work for somebody I know. Like I want to work for somebody who really knows me and understands me, because like I said, I've been in the industry for such a long time, and you know, like I just like, I'm very quick on my feet. I definitely get things done, but I'm also very kind of over that whole scene. Like I don't want to work on the weekends. Like I don't want to work on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Like I don't like to be around a lot of people or a lot of crowds. Like not all the time. Not for a job. You know, if it's like a festival every once in a while, that's fine. But anyway, so you know, it's been very cool. And you also discover with Gemini season also kind of like who your real friends are too. Like, You know, there has been a lot of drama in my life in the past few weeks. I lost one of my best friends, not as in like he passed away, as in like I decided that I was not going to be friends with him anymore. And you really start to learn who your real friends are and who is willing to fight for your friendship, you know. And you know, the bottom line is that you know, I'm one of those people where if you do something wrong, like I don't like to mess with people who can't take responsibility for their actions. Like I don't mess with people who have so much pride to the point where they can't like apologize for something wrong that they did. Or like, cause I'm a like pretty forgiving person, and I will fight for a friendship. I will fight for a relationship. And if I'm aware of something, of the part that I played in a certain situation, I will acknowledge that, and I will take responsibility, and I will step up, and I will apologize, and I will say like, hey man, you know. So if I feel like that's not being returned to me, especially if I like know that wrong was done, you know, I don't really fuck with that. It's kind of like, well, okay, like I'm a very, I mean, I'm a Sagittarius, so, you know, I know that Sagittarius energy, you know, we're known to be very, whatever, like big mouthed, or you know, we're like straight shooters. We say what we think, we say what we feel, we don't bite around the bush. And I understand that can kind of get us into trouble sometimes. However, I also feel like if you willingly are able to step out of your comfort zone, if you are able to step out of character for who you are, to acknowledge another person's feelings, and if you're able to step out of, and this is why I feel like really learning about the different zodiac signs and the different energies of each month is important, because you can really dive in and understand these different energies that are already within you. It's just a matter of channeling them. They are in you, they're not as strong in you, so you have to dig deeper and dive further. But the more you can understand how the different energies work as far as the zodiacal seasons and what they represent, the more you can really channel that energy and get in touch with it, so you can handle different situations, and so you can handle different kinds of energies around you according to the situation or the circumstance. I know that's very vague, the way that I'm explaining it, but that's the best way to explain it. It's like, okay, so let's say you have a bunch of fire in your birth chart. Well, maybe it could be beneficial to learn more about earth energy, so that when you are around people who are very highly earth driven, you'll know how to talk to them, you'll know how to handle them, or you'll better understand that energy within you. So that's kind of like the journey that I'm on. I'm kind of like trying to understand more and more about what these different energies represent and how I relate to them. And as much as like Sagittarians are known to be like loudmouthed or big mouth or honest, I try to balance that out with acknowledgement, and I try to balance that out with like not having an ego about it. And it's like I can acknowledge if I do something wrong. I can acknowledge, and I'm not like even saying that to like brag or to show myself to be prideful in any way. It's just a matter of like knowing the truth, and if you can acknowledge your faults and you can take responsibility for things that you did that were wrong, I feel like there's value in that. There is value in taking responsibility and like being honest about yourself, and being honest about something you might have done that was wrong. But it still takes two to tango, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter if it's a relationship or if it's a friendship, or if it doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. It takes two people to be in a relationship. So if one of those people is not doing their part, and if they're not taking responsibility, and they're not able to acknowledge the value in like showing that kind of balance, to acknowledge the other person's feelings and to be like, all right, I did wrong, that was fucked up what I did, I'm sorry. And if they're not able to do that, that's not a relationship, that's not a friendship, that's bullshit. So basically I was like, wow, this friendship was bullshit. Like, so, you know, I've known this kid for a long time, but like I just don't have time for it anymore. Like I'm just kind of getting to that age where I'm just like, nah, you know, no. And you know, this the most recent guy that I dated, it was kind of the same type of situation. Like I found myself being the only one to apologize when I would get out of hand. But like where, you know, and you know, same with my mom. Like I find myself constantly in these like caring about people and feeling compassion for people who don't have any compassion for me. So it's like, nah, I ain't got time for that anymore. So you know, if it's not going to go both ways, I don't want it. And that's just kind of, you know, and you know, you start to kind of discover that perhaps as you get older, but you know, it doesn't have to be something that you discover as you get older. It can be something that you can start to discover now. And this is why I love astrology so much, because you can learn about the energy. You can learn about your energies based on the like the current zodiacal system that we're in, which is Gemini, you know. So so I've kind of been following that path, you know. I mean, I can definitely, you know, if anybody is interested in talking about that further, how to really get started with that kind of journey, I mean, you could definitely email me, but that's kind of been like the path that I've been on, where I'm like exploring myself through the zodiacal seasons, and I'm exploring myself through these energies. And not only am I learning about astrology, more and more about astrology, and more about tarot, I'm also learning more and more about myself and the human experience and the human condition, and you know, what we're being driven by, and you know, how we can be more honest with ourselves, and how we can be more honest with who it is we are and what it is we really want, so we can live a happier life, so we can live a more fulfilling life that is true to, you know, like our inner peace, you know, our inner peace. And just because you desire inner peace in your life and in your world, that doesn't mean that you're not gonna fight for something that you want to fight for. Like, people seem to, I feel like I'm meeting a lot of people where like, just because they want peace, they, you know, like they will not, you know, succumb to the energy of drama or like fighting for something, which is basically fire energy. So it's like, if I'm gonna meet somebody who's like, oh, you know, you expressing how you feel or you fighting, that's just drama, I don't want any part of that. That's basically like somebody saying, well, that pretty much just means that you don't want any part of me, because guess what? I'm a fucking fire sign and I'm going to fight for what I want. Even if that means that I have to fight myself, if that means I have to fight myself, if that means I have to fight, like, you know, I'm going, like, basically, like, it's not even just about fighting for what you want, it's about saying how you feel. And people like to think that just because you're saying how you feel and you're expressing yourself and you're being truthful and you're being honest, it's like drama. No, it's just being honest. You know, maybe it'll hurt somebody's feelings, but then say it's gonna hurt say like, hey, I don't agree with you, or I feel this way, or I feel that way. If you're gonna be like, oh no, I don't fuck with that, it's like, okay, bye, because you're basically just saying that you don't fuck with me. So, you know, I don't know, man. I'm just like discovering a whole bunch of, I've just been like discovering a whole bunch of shit lately. But yeah, so this so this is my little third house spiel. What else can oh yeah, so my friend and I, we've kind of been chit-chatting about like buying a house together and trying to get like more people involved in I don't know, getting a house. But I don't know. I don't really know if I want to get into that on this video, but I just think it's really cool because like in the last video I was talking about how like I've never really experienced like stability in my life, and I was just telling these two boys that I met at the Loyola campus, they were missionaries, and I was like, okay, let's have a little chat, why not? And I was just telling them how like you know when you're ready to create a stable life for yourself. Like it doesn't, you know, like it can be a waste of money to like rent, you know, and to constantly be moving from place to place. But at the same time, if you don't know what you want, if you don't know what you want out of life, and you're still discovering who you are and where you kind of like fit in or whatever, or where you want to land, right? If you're still kind of experiencing life like a bird and you want to like live in different places, you want to move to different apartments, you're just kind of like, you're jumping around from job to job, probably just because you haven't found your place yet, and like that's totally fine. And that's just because you're still discovering, you're still on the journey, you're still on the path to kind of discover what it is you really want, where it is you want to land. So and like that can take a long time for some people. That can take a long time for some people to really discover where they want to land. And, you know, I feel like I'm entering that period in my life where I'm discovering where I want to land. And I mean, I've never owned property before, but I would definitely love to like own my own house, like not by myself, but you know, I would definitely love to own my own house. And you know, I'm ready to land. Like I'm ready to have like a stable foundation for myself, and that's something that I've never experienced in my life. Like if you watched my last video, the second Get to Know Me Through Astrology, the second house, you'll know that I never really had a stable foundation ever. Not with my parents, not with my country, like, you know, like how I told you, you know, like I was born in the USA, but I still consider Serbia my home country, the Balkans, and they went through war in the 90s. They were torn apart. So the original town that I grew up in when I was a kid, you know, our family had to flee from that town. So, you know, I just kind of like want to, you know, I want to bury my roots. And like Taurus season, I was learning how to plant, plant seeds and watch plants grow, and like, oh my God, I just like, it's a new hobby now and I love it. And I love watching those leaves come out, and I love watching those roots just like, you know, take form and get longer and stronger. And it's like, I totally believe that the deeper your roots are, and the deeper that you ground yourself into the earth, like the more beautiful the fruit is going to be, the more beautiful things are going to flower. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now, and where I just want to like plant my roots and, you know, get a house with people that I trust, people that I love, you know, create our own little family, not as in like have kids family, but like, you know what I'm saying, like friendship family, kind of community of people, and you know, kind of go from there. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So yeah, communication, third house energy, thought, you know, it's really just about thinking about the possibilities. You know, this Gemini season, we have a solar eclipse coming up. Actually, we're gonna have a solar eclipse tomorrow in Gemini. So yeah, June 10th, we're gonna have a solar eclipse. But yeah, man, you know, Gemini season, thinking about the possibilities, you know, thinking about where you really want to establish your roots locally, like where you really want to deepen your resolve with your like family, with your people, and you know, set that foundation for community. Like, where do you, like, what kind of community do you want to be part of? And I don't know, I don't really want to divulge like all the information right off the bat, but we already have a city in mind. We have a place that we definitely want to move to. I just don't want to like spill all the beans because I like to leave a little bit of mystery. I am a tarot reader, so that's probably going to just be revealed in another video. I mean, this is very new anyway, so maybe like, you know, once we get like a little bit deeper into the process of looking for a house, you know, I'll talk about where we have in mind. But for now, welcome to Chicago. So yeah, I hope you guys are feeling me, because that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at. You can hear a helicopter. That's where we're at. You know, this morning, like early this morning, I did not want to go outside. Like, I went out on my balcony and it just did not feel like good biking weather. There was like this muggy kind of feeling to it. It was like hot and muggy. And then after a couple hours, it started to get really nice. So, anything else I want to share? I guess I might as well just tell you what I do have in my third house. I actually have Pisces in my third house, which is my mom's sun sign. My mom is a Pisces, yeah. So I have Neptune. I have Pisces, Neptune ruling my third house, which is about dreams. Neptune, Pisces, it's all about spirituality. It's the God zodiac sign. It's about mysticism, creativity, mutable water energy, which is actually kind of cool because we're by the lake right now. So yeah, but water energy, Neptune energy, very Neptunian, very like mystical and spiritual and like creative in a very fantasy kind of way. So that's my third house energy right there. I don't really know what to say about my childhood. Third house energy for when you're a kid kind of represents when you first start school, like when you go into preschool or kindergarten and you're just learning how to communicate. You know, you're just entering that stage where you're learning how to communicate with like other kids at school, and you're making your first friends, and you know, you're kind of learning about that local community kind of school. Like maybe your parents are putting you in, you know, a sport, or they're teaching you how to play an instrument. You have siblings now, you know. So for me, my mother had custody of us. She was a Pisces sun sign. She's a Pisces sun sign, you know, and she did bring my brother and I back together. So that was good because we were separated. Go back and watch my previous video if you want to know the story. But my brother and I were separated. My mother brought us back together. She got custody of us. Yeah. So I don't have any planets in my third house, FYI. But I've got that Pisces Neptune rulership, and I've got Aries poking its head, starting out its descent from the third house. Okay, so Pisces Aries energy right there. And you know, at the end of the third house is the IC, which is the opposite of the MC, and the IC has to do with your roots, your family. The IC has a lot to do with it reveals what your family life was like as a child. And I have Aries in my IC, so you can kind of know right off the bat that it was very tumultuous, and there was a lot of I mean, Aries is ruled by Mars, which is the god of war, and there was literally war all around. There was actual war in the Balkans, Yugoslavia, war, mom, dad, divorce, war, mom tried to kill herself, war, like war all around. So that's that. So that's the Aries part. So it's like the point that falls at the very, very bottom of the natal chart. MC, IC. The IC is your family history. All right. That's pretty much it. Other than that, I don't have any planets in the third house. But yeah, next season, Cancer season, I'll get more into that Aries energy because Aries and Mars is ruling my 4th house, which is the house of Cancer, home life, security, all that junk. So I'll get more into that next month, but that's pretty much it. Explore your local community. That's what Gemini season is all about. You know, appreciate what you have that's going on around you, the friends that you really do care about, your close friends, your siblings. Learn something new, discover something new. Gemini is also about research. I already know what I'm going to start researching on this month, and it's definitely going to be in regards to what the heck I need to buy a house, to have my own property. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. That's my video for you. I'm really hoping that this weekend I can get started on those mid-month readings, tarot readings, and I'm hoping it's going to be outside. So stick around for that. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.